Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning on your home computer to read the day's newspaper. Well, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. In fact, both local San Francisco papers are investing a lot of money to try and get a service just like that started. Science editor Steve Newman reports on one person already using.
Good morning, guys. It is Monday the 18th of January and today is the first day of semester 2. I'm trying to be really positive even though we're in lockdown, and I've got dressed, I put makeup on, I'm gonna vlog the week. I'm just trying to make the best of the situation and stay enthusiastic even though it's not gonna be as fun, and this is gonna be the hardest part of the year, I think. I mean, we're in the strictest lockdown so far. At least last term I was able to kind of go and meet people, but this term I don't think I'm going to be seeing many people on my course apart from maybe at anatomy labs or in the library. So yeah, I think this is going to be a tough few weeks, but we're going to stay positive. Today we started our Locomotor module and it's going to last 4 weeks. So basically for the next 4 weeks we're focusing on bones, muscles, and I'm excited. Exams are over and I'm quite happy about that. I don't know how they went, we don't find out for 4 weeks, but I didn't break down in tears and I managed to get through it. We survived. This morning we had our first introductory lecture to the Locomotor module. It was just a short half an hour like intro, this is what's going to happen over the next 4 weeks. And then today I've actually got 3 pre-recorded lectures to get through. But yeah, I'm going to vlog the week. I don't know what it's going to be like because obviously we're in lockdown and it's going to be pretty mundane, but I thought it would still maybe be interesting to people to see what it's really like studying medicine at the moment in lockdown as a first year. So yeah, anyway, I'll stop talking because I need to get on with these lectures. Because it was the start of a new module, before I started my lectures that day, I created a folder for each subject that we get taught. Within each subject folder, I'll keep lecture notes, any tutorial questions, PowerPoints and other important documents. I find it's the best way to keep my notes organised and also find things quickly if I need them. I spent the next 3 hours working through my anatomy lectures. The lectures were on the anatomy of the shoulder and hip and then the elbow and the knee. It definitely felt like a step up from last term because of the level of detail we're expected to know, and so it ended up taking me a very long time to get through these lectures. After my anatomy lectures, I decided to head out for my daily walk before it went dark. In lockdown, I make sure to get out every single day, even if I literally just walk around the block, otherwise I will definitely get cabin fever. I finished off my day with a radiography lecture looking at the imaging of the locomotor system. We were looking at the pros and cons of each method of imaging, like X-rays, CT scans and ultrasound. Luckily, a lot of this was a recap from semester 1, so I didn't find it too difficult. So I finished my lectures. It took longer than expected because I wasn't very good at concentrating today. I kept going on my phone. Tomorrow I'm going to use Forest, the app where you can kind of block your phone out for set amounts of time, because I really need to get better at just getting through the lectures quicker because I could have finished it in half the time. Anyway, tomorrow will be better. So I probably mentioned a few times, but I'm doing Veganuary at the moment. I've never done it before. Well, I tried once and failed. This year I've been determined to stick to it. You know, I've made it 2 weeks and not failed yet, so I'm really proud of myself. Tonight I'm having one of these vegan pizzas from Plant Pioneers. So I'm going to put this in the oven now, and then I'm FaceTiming my best friend Charlotte because we are opening our Christmas presents to each other. Yes, you heard that correctly. Basically, our presents didn't arrive to each other's houses until like last week, and we finally got some time now to sit down and FaceTime each other and have a dinner date while we open our presents. That's what it looks like. It looks pretty convincing. Here is the finished product. It looks a little bit sad, but I haven't had pizza in like 2 weeks now, so I'm just excited to have this fake pizza. Oh, I thought because you got me the tea kit,
I get you the tea kit,
but I thought tea wasn't heavy enough.
Heavy for what? For me?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cool!
It's cracked, but it arrived.
That's it!
Do you like it?
Love it! How did you do it?
On my iPad.
Did you draw it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool, Lyd.
Right, I'm going to open my present from Charlotte now. Is it wrapped or is it just in the box?
I think it's wrapped.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh. 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 Is it pajamas? Oh. Oh, they look really nice.
Do you like them?
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, thank you, Charlotte. Oh.
You like them?
I love them. On Tuesday, I decided to go and work on campus for the day. I am so grateful that campus has stayed open this lockdown. The uni had initially asked medical students to come back to Southampton, and then when the third lockdown was announced, they changed their minds and said it was optional. I'd say about half of our cohort is back in Southampton, so it was really nice to see some familiar faces, even if it was just from a distance. Today I had 3 pre-recorded lectures. The first was Pharmacology of the Neuromuscular Junction, which basically went into detail about the main drugs that target the neuromuscular junction. I've developed a bit of a love-hate relationship with pharmacology. Sometimes I find it really interesting and other times I actually think it's really dull, but today was one of the days where I was actually enjoying it. Next I had 2 physiology lectures, one also based around the neuromuscular junction and then another one on sensory pathways and the different types of sensory receptors. Both these lectures were almost an hour long and I had a lot of notes by the time I finished. On Thursday, I set off to campus straight after breakfast for yet another day of pre-recorded lectures. For the most part, I don't actually mind having lectures this way, but sometimes I do find it very repetitive. Luckily, today my lectures were on one of my favourite topics, which is clinical genetics. When I studied biology, I always picked genetics modules, and I find learning about genetic diseases really fascinating. One thing I'm really loving about studying medicine is definitely the variety of subjects we cover, and I think that's one of the main differences between this course and my biology course. If there's something you don't particularly enjoy, you know that the next day you're probably going to be studying something completely different, so you're never going to get bored. Once I finished my lectures, I popped to the library to print something before heading home for the day. I've just got in from the library and my very nutritious afternoon snack today is actually Sainsbury's Bacon Crispies, which are actually vegan. My mind was blown. I mean, I'm now 21 days into Veganuary and I haven't even been tempted really. I had a few cravings for chocolate. I can't say at the end of the month that I'm going to be vegan forever, I do think that I will make some changes in my diet, like I will try and eat more plant-based foods. Veganuary has just taught me that there are a lot of options out there now, and it is possible to be a vegan in 2021 and have a really varied and interesting diet, and you definitely aren't just eating vegetables. Before dinner, I decided to do some anatomy revision with my anatomy colouring book. Now, I know it might seem a bit weird to someone who's never used a colouring book to learn, but it is actually such a good way of tricking yourself into learning the little details, and it's super relaxing at the same time. I also spent some time making some physiology flashcards while listening to the Bridgerton soundtrack on Anki, because I'm really trying to stay on top of my flashcards this term, so I have less work to do around exam time and even more time to practice and go over things throughout the term. I basically use a combination of the lecture PowerPoint and my own notes to put the flashcards together. I try not to make too many because the risk is that you have so many flashcards you can never physically get through them all. I do think the process of deciding which information I'm going to turn into flashcards is actually a good way to consolidate everything from the lecture, so I know that I've gone over everything at least once. For dinner, I decided to make a sweet potato curry. My mum kindly got Jack and I this massive pot for Christmas, so now I can make massive batches of food and freeze it. I was really pleased with how the curry turned out actually, like for me it was impressive. On Friday morning, we actually had 2 live lectures. The first one was explaining how medical careers work, and the second was on back pain. I was really grateful for these lectures being live because it was just really nice to be able to ask questions, and also it was a welcome change after a week of pre-recorded lectures. Once I finished my lectures, I met up for a walk with my friend Freya. We've actually been going for walks once a week in this lockdown, and it is honestly always such a highlight, especially to be able to catch up with a friend and moan about how our youth is being stolen by this pandemic. On my way home, I dropped a COVID test on campus because we all have to test negative to be able to go to our anatomy lab next week. I'm happy to tell you I did test negative, so we'll be going to the lab on Tuesday. To finish off the week, I went back over my anatomy lectures for Monday. I like to make posters with all the key info so I have a good idea of what I'm going to be seeing in the lab, and it's also a good chance to consolidate everything. I do look miserable here, but I was actually having a great time listening to old Hannah Montana songs while I worked. So I'm really tired, but I've made it to the end of the week. It has been a bit heavy on the pre-recorded lectures, I'm not gonna lie. But next week I have a lab and I have my GP placement, so next week will be more varied. So tonight is date night, so we're gonna get Nando's. I know what you're thinking, you had Nando's in the other video. Yeah, I did, we're having it again. Basically, I have a red reward, so the Nando's is basically free. I'm probably gonna have a cheeky G&T with my dinner, and then we'll probably watch Graham Norton. Wow. There's nobody here.
That's your back. But lay low for a while. No.
Twelfth place then.
7!
7th.
7, 8.
8th is worse than 7th.
Oh.
You're still going off the map. This thing is for you. You go off the map.
Yes!
9th.
I win!
You came 9th.
I won!
Fine.
First place.
You just said they don't know. I win again. How are you doing?